Namaskar. Welcome to the 24th episode of Granth Yatra. Today we are going to get acquainted with Daulat, a novel by the once popular Marathi writer Narayan Sitaram Phadke or Na Si Phadke as he is popularly known in Maharashtra. His first novel Allahu Akbar was published in 1917 and he continued to write for the next 60 years. The decade of the 1930s was especially known as the Phadke period in Marathi literature. N.C. Phadke was a professor of philosophy at the Rajaram College in Kolhapur. Before settling down here, he had stayed at Delhi, Sindh, Mumbai and Nagpur for work. In all, Phadke wrote 74 novels and more than 300 short stories. He published 5 collections of essays and 1 collection of poetry. In addition, he wrote 10 plays, biographies, an autobiography, literary criticism, and articles on scientific topics. His writing was published in magazines such as Yashwant, Kirloskar, Stree, and Manohar. At a time when the Marathi novel was stagnating in discussions on principles, Phadke wrote simple, straightforward love stories. Even when they propagated moral values, they were not forcefully advocated. His novel Daulat, which literally means wealth, was published in the year 1929 and it is an important literary work. It begins with a dialogue between a group of young ladies traveling in a train from Pune to Mumbai. These friends, who are traveling to Mumbai for their graduation exam, are engrossed in pulling each other's leg, in discussing their course material and speculating about the difficulty of the question papers. You would remember that in the 15th episode of Granth Yatra, we had examined the first novel in Marathi, Pan Lakshat Kon Gheto. If you remember its protagonist, who gets married at the age of 9 and who is deprived of education but for basic reading and writing, you would notice the amount of social progress in Maharashtra within 40 odd years. The main theme of the novel Daulat is the question, what constitutes real wealth, money, power and honor or mental satisfaction? In the novel, Bhaiya Saheb is a lawyer who has devoted his entire life to his profession. Dhananjay has passed the prestigious ICS examination after completing his education in England but now has no respect for Indian culture. And Kamal is attracted to fancy clothes, wealth and external finery. On the other hand, Nirmala prefers a simple and value-based life. Avinash is an achiever yet conscientious. His father Madhav Rao has a pleasant disposition, while the postmaster Babu Rao has a happy nature. The novel's theme gradually unfolds through this contrasting characterization. The delicate blossoming of love between the protagonists Nirmala and Avinash provides the emotional substance to the novel, whereas the subplot of the beautiful maiden Madhura and the mysterious Kanchan brings in the element of mystery and holds the attention of the readers till the end. The novel focuses the reader's attention on the capricious play of emotions and portrays the hopes and desires of the contemporary life. The main narrative progresses through the depiction of life of the various couples, while at the same time it flourishes through clever characterization, description of the life of the main characters, and an artistic perspective towards the plot. Phadke is skilled at revealing the delicate layers of human mind. He picturizes the growing love in the hearts of his protagonists through several small incidents. Look at this event. I won't tolerate any criticism of Pune, Nirmala said, smiling with amusement. I am a proud resident of Pune. You will give up this misplaced pride when you leave the city. Avinash quickly realized that he had made a reference to a very important aspect in his haste. He wondered if he had inadvertently crossed the limit of propriety in making that comment. So he laughed out loud to expel any unwanted meaning that his words might have conveyed. But his laughter was a bit artificial, and Nirmala not only guessed his original meaning but also his later awkwardness, and she secretly admired his attitude. Partly smiling to herself and partly aloud, she said, "Okay, let Pune be bad. But even if you won't visit us for the sake of Pune, you should come to Pune for the sake of visiting us." Through this novel, Phadke supports a new belief that love should be the basis for marriage. A new style of writing, a new way of using the language, a new atmosphere made Phadke's novels immensely popular among the young readers. College students of the time would imitate the heroes and leading ladies of Phadke's novels. This was because his novels provided a detailed description of not only the physical attributes of the protagonists but also their mannerisms, dressing style, their likes and dislikes in an attractive manner. Look at this description of Nirmala at the beginning of the novel Daulat that helps create a clear image of the protagonist in the minds of the reader. Nirmala was not in the habit of dressing in a fancy manner, and her present attire was very simple and suitable for travel. She was wearing a simple chocolate-colored sari and a white blouse with full sleeves that reached her wrists. But the nature had granted her such beauty that instead of dimming her looks by her sober attire, they gave her a unique glow. At least the women in the neighborhood who stood watching her thought so. Nirmala's medium height, her shapely eyes and nose, her delicate figure, and her ample hair tied in a simple bun were quickly noticed by these women. Phadke's attractive style of writing, flawless plot structure, his soft and sweet language, and impressive characterization are the important characteristics of this novel. Similarly, the delicate mystery about the subplot of Madhura and Kanchan, which gets resolved only at the end of the novel, the lost letter, a snake bite, Dhunni Baba, who is an adept at Mantra Vidya, and Varini, the young ascetic, provide the element of surprise which makes the novel interesting. Phadke was always curious about different regions, literature, and culture and appreciated art in all its forms. This fondness for beauty gave his writings a new dimension. Wonderful descriptions of cities and towns such as Mumbai, Surat, and Shivapattam are scattered throughout the novel Daulat. Look at the first pleasing glimpse of the town of Shivapattam as observed by Kanchan, who is travelling in a train. Kanchan's mind found some solace at the sight of the surrounding greenery when the train approached Shivapattam. The backwaters to the west of the town could be seen continuously for a while. On this constant background, a string of pleasing scenes such as coconut groves, rice fields waiting for harvest or full of black soil and remains of the last year's rice crop, clusters of huts or herds of cattle became visible. Phadke's writing was often based on such minute observation, imagination, and hard work. His personality had formed out of knowledge gained by vast reading, his love for beauty, his fondness for sports, and his desire for new experiences. Through his oratory, writings, and editing of magazines, Phadke continuously tried to shape the tastes of the common man. He upheld modernity in literature. His familiarity with the writings of Western writers, his travels through several countries, his knowledge of melody, meaning, and emotions in music, his love for discipline and neatness is reflected in his writings. S.M. Paranspe had praised Phadke by calling him a magician who created and scattered the wealth of fiction. In 1962, Phadke was awarded the Padma Bhushan. An attractive beginning, a complicated middle portion, and the resolution at the end was the formula that Phadke followed in writing his novels. He was skilled in creating beautiful word pictures of events and perfect characterizations. Let us hear more about Phadke's style of writing from Professor Nishikant Miraskar.
नासी फडके यांना जी अफाट लोकप्रियता मिळाली त्यामध्ये दौलत कादंबरीचा फार मोठा वाटा आहे. मी कादंबऱ्या कशा लिहितो हा प्रतिभा साधन ग्रंथामध्ये फडक्यांनी जो लेख लिहिलेला आहे त्या लेखात फडके यांनी असं म्हटलं आहे की कादंबरी लेखनासाठी फार मोठी सिद्धता करावी लागते. दौलत कादंबरीमध्ये याचा पुरेपूर प्रत्यय येतो. या कादंबरीतील व्यक्तिचित्रणाचा तपशील, प्रसंग रेखाटना आणि वर्णनं यातून ते प्रत्ययाला येतं. कथानकात रहस्य ठेवल्यामुळं ही कादंबरी चित्ताकर्षक झाली आहे. दुसरी गोष्ट म्हणजे फडके सुखवादी नाहीत. जीवनात कसंही करून सुख प्राप्त करून घ्यावं असा त्यांचा दृष्टिकोन नाही. पण या कादंबरीमुळं तसा समज मात्र पसरून दिला गेला आहे. दौलतमधली मूळ समस्या फार प्रभावी आहे. पैसा आणि कीर्ती यांच्या मागं लागल्यामुळं माणसाकडून जीवनाची खरी दौलत दुर्लक्षित राहते, हे या कादंबरीतून फडके यांना दाखवायचं आहे. दौलतमध्ये फडक्यांनी जीवनानुभवाला महत्त्व दिलेलं नाही. ते कथा बांधणीवर लक्ष केंद्रित करतात. प्रेम हा विषय या कादंबरीच्या केंद्रस्थानी आहे. तरुण स्त्री पुरुषांची ओळख होणं, त्यांना एकमेकाविषयी आकर्षण वाटणं, त्या आकर्षणाचा प्रगाढ प्रेमभावात रूपांतर होणं, त्यांनी परस्परांच्या सहवासासाठी तळमळत राहणं, त्यांच्या प्रेमभावनेला काहीसा विरोध होणं, या गुंतागुंतीतून ही प्रेमकथा विकसित होत राहते. फडक्यांच्या प्रणयचित्रात वाचकाचं मन गुंतून पडतं अशी जबरदस्त आकर्षण शक्ती या कादंबरीत आहे. जीवन हे जगण्यासाठी आहे, माणसानं रसिकतेनं त्याचा आस्वाद घेतला पाहिजे असा संदेश ही कादंबरी अगदी नकळतपणे देते. या कादंबरीतील व्यक्तिचित्रण बहारदार आहे. नायक आणि नायिका ही पात्र नसून खरीखुरी जिवंत माणसं आहेत असा प्रत्यय वाचकाला येतो. नायिकेच्या सौंदर्याचं वर्णन इतकं तपशीलवार आहे की वाचकाच्या डोळ्यासमोर तिची मूर्ती साक्षात उभी राहते. इतरही पात्रांच्या बाबतीत असाच अनुभव येतो. दौलत कादंबरीतील भाषाशैली हे तिच्या यशाचं आणखी एक गमक आहे. अत्यंत प्रवाही, रोजच्या संभाषणात वापरली जाणारी अशी ही भाषाशैली आहे. त्यामुळं कुठलंही पान उघडून कादंबरी वाचायला घेतली की ती संपूर्ण वाचल्याशिवाय खाली ठेवतच नाही. भाषेच्या खुसखुशीतपणामुळं ही कादंबरी वाचनीय झाली आहे. फडक्यांची या कादंबरीतली वर्णनं अत्यंत विलोभनीय आहेत. तो प्रसंग मनश्चक्षुसमोर साक्षात उभा करण्याचं सामर्थ्य या कादंबरीत आहे. त्यामुळं त्यांच्या कादंबऱ्या वाचनीय झाल्या आहेत. दौलत ही त्यातील सर्वश्रेष्ठ कादंबरी आहे असं म्हणायला हरकत नाही.
While the young readers were mesmerized by the dream world in Fadke's novels, the critics had begun to realize the limitations of his writings. Fadke had given more importance to the form of the novel than to depicting the complexity of human mind or the multiple layers of experience. In his own words, a novel should essentially have an attractive plot, colorful characterization, dialogues and descriptions, a clever interplay of curiosity and astonishment, progression of language, and clever narration. Following these criteria, Fadke transformed the Marathi novel into a well-shaped, modern, and technically perfect form. However, his use of the contemporary events, movements, and thought processes was limited to mere backgrounds in his novels. He avoided the harsh reality and embraced the criteria of entertainment and popularity. In the novel Daulat, Fadke makes use of a serious crime such as organized smuggling of helpless young women as a convenient element for plot construction. He neither condemns it with enough aversion nor do the prominent characters in the novel feel any strong desire to punish the perpetrators of this crime. Acharya Atre accused Fadke's novels of being mere entertainers with no emotional intensity, of being incapable of uplifting the reader's minds, being based on shallow themes, and of giving prominence to physical love. Yet, because of his modernity, knowledge, and his skill for plot construction, Fadke's novels acquired a historical value. They also provide a mirror to the life of the period when they were written. In the book Maji Janmathep, discussed in the last episode of Granthayatra, we saw the burning nationalism prevalent in those times. Whereas in the novel Ashram Harini, we got a glimpse of the contemporary movement for social reforms. But Fadke's novels depict the life of the common man who often did not have a close relation with either of these two streams. They depict the relationship of such common people with non political British residents, the city life in those times, and the hopes and aspirations of the people. In his novel Daulat, it is interesting to read about the British principal Mr. Kind, who helps Avinash, his wife who hates Indians, the drivers of horse wagons who pester railway passengers, ordinary men and women who traveled with brass water containers and bundled beds, trams, and the dock for intercontinental passenger boats in Mumbai, students who went to the examination halls carrying wooden pens, ink pot, and blotting paper. Such details provide a glimpse of the contemporary life of the common man. Commenting on Phadke's writings, Gangadhar Gadge says, a small middle class of white-collared people was beginning to form. This class was gradually achieving liberation from the stifling bonds of social life. The people of this class were beginning to look at temporal life, at the pleasures it offered, and at interpersonal relationships with a new, free, and welcoming attitude. The readers belonging to this class found those attitudes reflected in the stories and novels of Phadke, and naturally, they liked those stories immensely. Today's aspiring writers who wish to practice the skill of plot construction and wish to achieve sweetness of language will certainly find the novel Daulat very useful. It will no doubt mesmerize those who love to read. Let's look at a few sample sentences. If man would give up his desire for gold that does not create music unless it is struck with some force, but would instead assimilate the gold of sweet feelings that arise in heart, this world would turn beautiful. Or, he now loved to observe the subtle pulsation of people's minds rather than their wealth, and he realized that to make others happy, it was necessary to augment the wealth of their inner satisfaction rather than give them money. Beautiful sentences such as these are scattered throughout the narrative and would please the readers of this novel. Do read it to experience the magic of the Phadke period. In the next episode, we shall talk about yet another important novel which is based on a social theme. Until then, keep reading.